All right. So what's going on YouTube? Okay. We should be good to go now. Thumbs up if we got some volume. We have the link there. If someone wants to come in, you can come in. We'll talk about some stuff. You should be able to hear me now, right? All right. With thumbs up, it says the name is nobody. My name is nobody. So we'll talk a little bit about the industry, maybe, and talk maybe about factoring and what's the difference between factoring and not factoring, because there's a lot of people out there with different opinions, and a lot of them use different forms of factoring, but they call it something else. But it's still factoring your receivables. Uh, so it doesn't matter if you have a line of credit at a bank, which is worse than factoring, and we can go over that. Of course, people's opinions might differ, and that's okay. But when you add it up, then that's what it is, right? Because if you have a line of credit, you're going to use that line of credit. You're going to get charged interest on a daily rate, even though they say it's 9%, 10%, 8%, 7%, whatever you get. But your line of credit is a yearly rate, but they're going to charge you daily because that's how the interest works. So if you're on a 30-day, so well, it's 30 days, so I won't get charged that interest rate. No, that's not how line of credit works. You're going to get charged interest. It's not like a credit card, right? And most companies aren't going to pay you in 30 days. They're just not going to do it, right? You're not going to get the 30-day pay. Most of them are averaging 40 days plus in this market. So if you're going to do a line of credit, there's some things that can happen to you. One, you're going to do the line of credit on how much money you think you're going to do at least in 40 days. Two, you're probably going to have to increase that line of credit or have your fuel into that line of credit also. But let's say the bank only gives you so much line of credit. And let's say you go past, you get up that line of credit, right? Because let's say some of them don't pay you 45 days or even 50 days. Now you bump that line of credit. Will they extend it? If they don't extend it, then now you're not going to be able to pay back that line of credit like you should, because if they're taking longer and longer to pay you, your line of credit keeps, you're bumping that limit. And then if you go over the limit or you fail to pay, now you got some other factors that are really going to mess you up, called more interest and some penalties, right? Some penalties, and so forth and so forth. So we got our first guest up in here, and I think it is the dean. So he left the light on for us, just like Motel 6 would leave the light on for you. What's going on, Dean? Maybe he's not going to get now. See, now he's not ready. He always does. Now, what we heard some. You're there, Dean. Just say something. Talk. Oh, device is not connected, it says. So while we're waiting for the dean to reload, hopefully he drives that Kenworth better than that. Then he operates the YouTube's camera and microphone. But let's see. My name is Nobody's up in here. What's up, Jerome Jones? LVC says, I will not obey. Big Face Trucker, what's going on, buddy? Dean is just great. Well, let's add him to stage. Dean, you there?
Yo.
Okay, so we don't have your video, but we have you in.
Yeah. Hold on. So how do I? Yo, I'm here.
Yeah, we see your no avatar.
How do I fix this?
Click on your camera button. Click on your three little dots there, and put your camera in there. You got it?
I don't know.
Or you can just totally back out and then come back in. So leave and then re-click on the link and then go through and add your camera and all that stuff. He's having technical difficulties, folks. So, so we were talking about kind of differences, you know, whether if you don't factor, if you do factor, and what those are. What's up, Dean? Now you can see.
I got back feed though. I got back feed. How do I get rid of the back feed?
Turn your YouTube off, or turn the YouTube speaker off on the YouTube video you're watching.
Oh, maybe that worked.
Yeah, this would never happen on Snorlord's channel.
I might be halfway there. Hold on.
You okay now?
It ain't working.
Oh, I can hear you.
Man, this is terrible, bro.
If you're back feeding, then you're talking into your microphone and it's coming through the speaker back into your microphone. Do you have your speaker like on your speakers or your computer for sound?
I can't hear nothing. This would never happen in Starlos. Yeah. Hell, I don't know how to get in here.
You are in here.
See, I hear you. I hear you, but I can't.
You don't need to see
but I got back feed. I can't figure out how to turn this off.
Well, where's your speaker coming in at? Is it in your head? Is it in your headset?
Yeah.
Do you have YouTube running in the background somewhere? We just lost you. You got to put that back in if you're using that for your mic also.
You there?
Yeah.
I got it now. I got it.
You got it?
Yeah. We're good. I had terrible back feed.
Check one, check two. Check one, check two, says LVC.
Yeah.
Check with T-Bone.
I don't know this YouTube stuff real well. You know that.
So I started out talking a little bit about I was going to talk a little bit about factoring and why in not factoring and line of credit. Like, what's the difference between a line of credit and factoring? And what's the downfalls?
Right.
And I don't know why so many people have this mentality about not factoring, and they think it's a bad deal because, you know, all they can think of is, well, man, if I did this much money a year and the percentage was this, man, that's a lot of money to give somebody. But they don't look at what they're gaining from that, because a lot of them don't understand what their time is worth.
Right.
Right? Because think about it. If you're doing, let's say, 2%, and you do $300,000 of business, that's $6,000.
Right.
Right. What do you get for the $6,000? Well, you might be at a factoring company. Well, the only one I know of, Thunder Funding, has a real good fuel card. The other ones I don't think even give you fuel cards. Right. So then you got to get somebody else's. So that's just another headache, because that other fuel card they give you sure can't do the stuff you can with an EFS card, right?
That's right.
You know, so then you got to look at all the back office support you get. So for $6,000, could you hire somebody to do all your billing?
No,
absolutely not.
Oh.
You go to the bank, get a line of credit. Well, that's an interest rate. So if you're not paying that thing off every 30 days, you could end up paying more than what the factoring fee is.
And not only that, but you know, the line of credit is going to be hooked to your EIN or your SSN, and then you're going to be you run into a situation. I mean, to me, as a one truck operator, it doesn't make much sense. A loan is good for purchasing trucks, trailers, that sort of thing. That's what a loan is for. But when you want to, a lot of companies factor. Mega carriers factor. Factoring companies factor.
Right.
And if you look at what takes most people out, if you Google, now I didn't do it, so I don't know, but I'm just speculating. But I would venture to say that most small businesses fail for two reasons, and it's probably 3, 4, or 5, maybe 10. But I would say somewhere in the top 10, maybe top 3, it's going to be cash flow, lack of cash flow, and underfunded, right? So if you're underfunded, now I've heard this from others too, where factoring is not insurance. Okay. But here's where I would caution people with that. Because when you look at what a factoring company does for you, they provide you with income. So when I submit my bills to Thunder Funding, whether it's recourse, non-recourse, ours is non-recourse, but that doesn't even matter. At the end of the day, they're protecting my business to stay in business. So they're basically providing me insurance with payment at the end of each load I do, and anybody for that matter, because they're keeping you in business. It's no different really than a term policy. A term policy, life insurance policy. I always used to use the term policy is like renting an apartment, renting a house. It's there for now. And of course you have whole life insurance on the other side, and that's permanent. It's more expensive. Factoring is no different. Factoring is temporary. It's a fee, not an APR, right? It's a fee to do business. It's a fee. And when I look at what it provides for me, I feel like it provides insurance, because most guys out here, I would say, and I don't know, but are underfunded and they need cash flow, right? So if those are the two reasons that companies go out of business, why hamstring yourself even more?
Well,
Why not factor?
Well, not only that, they're going to do something else that most guys can't do, right? You can go out there and subscribe to a service to get credit checks on brokers, right? You can do that. Now you got that bill you're paying. So you can subtract that from the fee, because I'll tell everybody out there, a factoring company is going to look at that broker and they're going to dig deeper than what that program is going to. They have way more programs to check credit than what someone's going to sell you on the internet, right? So they're going to look in there and they're going to say, no, we're not going to factor that broker. And the reason why is they want to get their money also. Right? They want to make sure they get their money. So, and they're also going to know how much money that these companies have on their books. And they're going to say, well, they're overdrawn. Not going to do them anymore until they pay. Get that line of credit down. Now, they might say, we'll give you an exception. We're going to do an exception every time you haul a load for these folks. But they're over their limit. Now, they could also tell you, look, we'll let you haul the load. You can haul the load, but we're not going to hold this one as non-recourse.
Right.
These are recourse from this point on, because what they're telling you is they and their radar is that this broker might go under or might not start paying he might stop paying his bills, right?
Well, and the other thing, Jeff, too, is, so you bring up a good point. So there's two vested parties when you factor. Both parties want to get paid. The carrier wants to get paid, and the factoring company wants to get paid. So if you go out there and get a line of credit or a loan from a bank, the bank could care less.
Right. The bank don't care if you get paid.
No, and they're not going to do anything to help you get paid.
Right. And they're going to have no way to look and say if that broker's good.
Right.
They don't care.
So you're on your own. Then you take the cost of the loan, and now you got to get somebody else to run credit checks. But at the end of the day, look, if you're running, and it really doesn't matter to me if you're running one truck or 50 trucks. as the leader of your organization, your job is to put people in the best places to succeed. That's your number one job. That's what good leaders do. They're not out there chasing titles. That frustrates me because listen, at the end, it doesn't matter if you factor or you don't factor. The idea is to get paid. That's the idea in any business, is to get paid. But my job, my time is better well spent booking loads and driving the truck. I don't want to chase money. And I've said it before on your channel. Yes, money motivates me, but at the end of the day, I don't want to chase the money. It's a waste of my time. So if go ahead.
And that's the same thing for me, right? My job is to watch over this company, make sure it runs safely and efficiently. And I don't want to spend the time invoicing and chasing down brokers and find out if they got their bill latings, why they didn't pay on time, because they might have a blurry one and now they're going to say, oh, well, now we have another 30 days, because they can do that, right? They said they got 30 days from when they get the invoice or the bill lading. Well, they could say, well, I didn't get a good bill lading. So 30 days later, you finally find out if you're chasing your own money.
Right.
Then you could have to wait another 30. You could.
Yeah.
But then look at all that time. What's your time worth? And a lot of these guys don't know, and they don't value what their time is. They're out there doing the invoicing, trying to save a buck, when they're down there at $3 or $4 an hour when you break it down for all the hours they put in.
Well, look, if you really want to save money, I would just say get better at running your own numbers. Get better at doing stuff that will make you money. Because rather than chasing dollars somewhere else with another business, i.e. the bank, that doesn't know anything about trucking, that doesn't care about trucking, that's not in business to help your company, and yet you got a factoring company like Thunder Funding, and sure, there's others out there. I can only speak of Thunder Funding, but knock on wood, I haven't had any issues in 3 years. So, I mean, you submit your paperwork, you get paid. Look,
right. I haven't had no issues in 7.
I don't want. Why booking loads and dealing with brokers is stressful enough? Why do I want to add another element or another step and then have to chase the money with their billing department?
Like, for instance,
waste another hour.
I get emails all the time.
I'm not doing
from a couple brokers, and they keep saying, we didn't get the paperwork. We didn't get the paperwork. And we know that's a lie, right? We know that's a lie. But it's just their way of keep putting off paying. So I don't pay no attention to those, because Thunder Funding is going to take care of that. That's what they're paid for. Right? So when it gets to the time, when it gets 40, 45, 50 days, they're going to start sending them more and more Nastograms, and they're going to say, hey, we're going to hit your credit. You can't hit their credit.
Right.
If you're sitting there and you're, let's say, floating it yourself or a line of credit from a bank, none of them can hit the broker's credit.
Well, and think about this, Jeff, especially in the market we're in. So right now it's I don't know, for lack of a better word, it's a scary time for all of us, right? You, me, everybody, doesn't matter. And brokers and shippers and everybody else. But at the end of the day, it's always better to use somebody else's money. So why in the world would I want to put my money on the line to float my business? Because here's what it is. And this is why I go back to the insurance. At some point, you have to put, and I hate to say this in this way, but there's a value that you place maybe in your head. To me, my girls are everything to me, right? But you got to put some sort of value on that. What do I mean? I'm trying to say this the nice way here, but
just say it, Dean.
Listen,
don't sugarcoat it. Look, don't sugarcoat it. If they're in here and they're owner operators, they should hear the hard truth. If they can't handle the hard truth, then maybe they shouldn't be in business.
Well, look, if so, to me, you don't value your $5,000 for the cost of factoring is peanuts when it comes to my girl's happiness. What do I mean? The cash flow is everything. If they're not worth $5,000, then why are you doing this anyway? I hate to put a monetary value on that, but that's how I look at it, right? Because again, my time is better well spent doing other things. And the factoring, again, is really an insurance policy to keep the cash flow going and to keep your business in business. Without cash flow, you will have nothing.
This is what I understand. This is what I understand. If you buy something from a store, that store gets their money right now. Right? You're not leaving them with that merchandise without them getting their money, whether it's cash or credit card. Correct?
Right.
But why do people have this mental problem with factoring? And they say, well, I do it all man. I know a lot of people that went out of business because they didn't factor, because they did it on their own and they didn't get paid. And then they lost that money. And then they used credit cards to get their fuel and they couldn't pay the credit cards. And then it just snowballs, right?
Right.
Here's what I understand. Trucking's this is like the only business, right? You take a load. The broker gives you $0. You don't know these people from Adam. And you're trusting them with your money. Let's say it's a $5,000 load. You take that load. By the time you're done with the load, now you got probably $6,000 invested because of the fuel, right?
Right.
And you're going to let these people hold your money for 30, 40, 50 days.
You don't even know who they are. You don't
know who they are. You don't know if they're even going to pay you.
Right. Look at Convoy.
That is so stupid.
If Convoy can fail, anybody can fail. And Convoy really came as a surprise to everybody. I mean, I don't know. Any broker can fail and probably take a lot of us out, right? Let's just be honest. I mean,
Convoy owed you money. Did you have to pay?
No, I did not.
Yeah, me neither.
I got lucky, right?
But yeah, if you didn't factor with non-recourse, then you just lost that money.
I never got the money, and it wasn't a lot of money because I didn't do a lot of loads. But to me, a dollar's. I don't want to work for free, right?
Right.
So yeah.
But that's what I understand is why do people do that?
Yeah, it's
Josh uses a quick pay way more than factoring. It's the same thing. Quick pay is the same thing as factoring.
Yep.
Because most quick pays have an interest or a fee, right? It's not really an interest rate; it's a fee, 1.5%, 2%, whatever. But most quick pays have a fee.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as factoring.
I mean, look, if you have a nest egg and I guess you're willing to gamble, I mean, knock yourself out. I just don't want to. I don't want to play that game. Trucking's a hard enough game as it is. So why do we want to make it any harder? And there's already enough risk. So if I want to mitigate my risk, I'm going to get the insurance policy in a factoring company, and I'm going to factor, right? And a lot of factoring companies factor. So
right. There is a quick pay is there is a small difference because quick pay, you're getting a rate from the broker. So there's no way they can come back on you because they already paid you money. But that percentage is almost always more than what a factoring company would be.
Yes. Well, and you
do
no benefits on that end.
You get no benefits, right? No benefits. And if you're not using a software program to run your business,
right,
there's no way you're getting your tax return right. Because if let's say you're hauling for all kinds of brokers, 50 brokers, let's say in a year, and you're quick paying half of them, and out of those 50, you might get 5 1099s. So how do you know how much money if you're not using, let's say, a program? To where a factoring company, you could either ask them or you can go online and say, let's see how much money I factored. And there's your number. You're never wrong, right? So when you do your tax return, if you're a corporation, your 1120, ask for your gross receipts. You what the money is.
Well, and I just sent an email to Thunder Funding.
And they'll send you the breakdown.
Give me the annual totals, and they just sent it right over. So
right. They'll give you your annual totals. They'll give you the totals plus the factoring fee.
Because the people that think you're going to get a 1099 from all these brokers, you're mistaken. You're not. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Not going to happen.
Just quick pay is 1.5, factoring that cost me 2.75. Yeah, but then see, that's what I'm saying though. That's a lot of work, right? Doing a lot of extra work because now you got to worry about what those 1099s are for those other people, unless you look at that. And two, I'm not going to quick pay with somebody when they're not giving any other benefit.
Right.
Right? Are they giving you an AFS card where you can write money codes? You can EFS to banks. You can, ACH to banks. You can use it as the fuel card with fuel discounts. No, those other people give you nothing.
Well, and not only that, but I just, I think anywhere you can, I hate to use this word. I think it's overly used, but streamline and have all your reports easily accessible, EFS, everything's with one or two companies. I think that's, again, it's my time. And
Here's a good, Josh has a good one. So the brokers don't send 1099s.
No.
We used 225 or so brokers last year.
You might get one.
I can count on these two hands of how many 1099s we received. We received 8 out of 220 something brokers. We received 8 1099s because there's no law that makes them have to send you a 1099.
Hey, Nomadic Brick's made a couple comments. What's up, Nomadic Brick? Hey, remember, it's Dunkin' Donuts, though, not Starbucks. I had to switch. Dunkin' Donuts, much better.
What's the difference between quick pay and factoring rates, insurance against debt, etc.? Well, it just depends. Yeah. Factoring rates can go anywhere from 0.75%
to 5%.
To 5%. Depends on who you have and what you're doing. Of course, the bigger a company you are, the more volume you do, the better rate you're going to get. It's like anything else.
Yeah.
Just like if you're hauling a huge volume for a certain broker, you're going to get more money than the other guy when it comes to the loads. They're going to give you more money.
Right.
Because you're doing volume with them.
Do you have income? What income?
Well, yeah. If they don't say you 1090, you got to claim the income because they're going to claim it. They're going to send it to the federal government.
Yeah.
But whether they send it to you is a different story.
Probably not.
The only thing is you have to send W-2s because that's federal, right? Because you paid federal income tax in for those folks and everything else, Social Security and other. That's the rule. You got to have that to all your employees by January 31st. And some 1099s is a different story.
Well, some carrier packets have a box. Do you require 1099? Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of them do. But like I said, I got 2 electronic ones or 2 emails from 2 different brokers. I got 6 paper ones, and it's already January 31st. I think last year we got maybe 12. Okay. But I didn't care because I just, like you, I could just send a message to Thunder Funding, say, could you give me my yearly totals? And they'll send the email, has all the yearly totals, put those in the tax program and done. And then there's no worry about it, right? Of course, I already know the number anyway because I have access to TMFS.
Right.
So I already know what the gross is because every load's in there. But it's a good double check, right?
It is.
Because what you don't want to do with the IRS is you don't want to
Right.
You do not want to underclaim how much your gross was. You can overclaim all day long and they won't audit you or red flag you or nothing. But if you understate it, they're coming knocking. Right? They're going to send you the letter saying, no, your gross was this, so you're going to owe us this money. Fire Dog Mitch, Dean is the face of Starbucks. And then, of course, Dean told him Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Normex says, bigger benefit of factoring, Josh, and that's my option. I'm trying to understand all the various pros and cons of business here. Well, the pros of factoring is you have I call them a payroll, invoicing, and a collections agency, all in one, all those departments. Isn't that about right? Billing, right? You got your billing.
Well, look, on Monday I had to call him because there was an issue with EFS and the ACH. I don't know if you ran into that problem, but come to find out, it was an IT issue. But
yeah, because Friday EFS had a problem.
Yep.
And yeah, so, because I called because one of the contractors said that the money didn't hit his bank on Monday, and I was like, well,
right,
maybe it's your bank. So I called EFS, said they had a glitch on Friday, and some stuff went through, some didn't, and they would have it fixed within a day.
And they had it fixed Monday afternoon. But I mean, Thunder Funding, I just called the people that deal with fuel.
Right. Yeah, you called EFS. Yeah.
Well, I called Thunder Funding because I called EFS and it was like 2-hour wait. So I called Thunder Funding and they said, look, if it doesn't happen, call us tomorrow. We'll figure something out. So
right, because they have an EFS department there, right? The fuel.
Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't know, man. That's easier to me. Look, I understand. It's kind of, here's how I look at factoring too. If you're a sales guy and you're 100% commissions and you ever work for somebody that advanced commissions, that's all they're doing. They're just advancing you the commissions. Is there a potential for a chargeback? I suppose so. But I think look, you got to do your homework too. There's a website we use. Check the brokers. Look again, like I said in the beginning, it's kind of, we're all grabbing at straws, sort of hoping, right, that these brokers don't go out of business. But if you do your homework, most of the time, I think you'll be all right. But sure, there's brokers we have to be careful of right now, even some big names.
Well, I did 7 years like that with them, and I've been paid on every single load. No chargebacks.
Yep, I haven't had a chargeback, not one.
So, but I know some guys that didn't factor, and they've had some loads that they weren't paid on.
Right. Look, I almost had one about 1.5 years ago, and so basically what I was told is, look, they don't want to pay, and Thunder Funding's like, no, not true. You have a rate con. They got to pay this, right? We got paid. So, and they were in my corner the whole time. So, look, I've only had 1 or 2 issues in 3 years, and it wasn't because the Thunder Funding was on the broker side, but I always got my money. So,
here's a question for you: what do you think of the 700 trucks heading to Texas?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I haven't really followed that at all. I saw a couple thumbnails on YouTube about, we're not picking sides. We're standing for America.
And Texas told them not to come.
Yeah. Look, listen, I'm all for, I think pretty much if you watch Jeff's channel, I'm always going to be for the driver. And of course, I'm for America, all that good stuff. But I think we need more of it. I think there's a lot of stuff that a lot of regulations coming down in the next few months that you guys have probably seen Monday, Tuesday with speed limiters and stuff that they don't want to address. And I think it's wrong. So yeah, Jeff knows how I feel about all of it. I think it's a bunch of crap. So
let's tell how you really feel, D. I mean,
well,
why you shouldn't.
Well, here it is. Well, look, the speed limiters to me, and I've ran the numbers on this. If you guys look at your logs and just, I did it the other day. I'll just speak for myself, but I know I went 70, 73 mile an hour. I was in Amarillo, coming back home, and live in Missouri. So speed limit is at least 70 most of the time until you get into big cities. But my average speed, when I look at my drive time on the logbook, my average speed was only 56 mile an hour. So if they want to govern us at, let's say 68, so what's your average speed going to be then? I mean, if I'm at 56 mile an hour average, and I'm doing 70, 73, what am I going to be at 45, 46 miles an hour?
Yeah, you're going to be like back in the old day where it's, basically 50 miles an hour. You figured everything up on 50 miles an hour.
Right. So mega carriers use a velocity. That's the term they use, right? They use a velocity of 50 mile an hour for all of their loads. And some may even do less, depending on what that company's governed at. But most companies, you're right, Jeff, use 50 mile an hour. So look,
basically, an 11-hour day, you're not getting more than 550 in a day.
Well, it's going to be tough. And I think, the people that say, well, I'm governed now, it's not a big deal. Jeff, you and I drove when the speed limit was 55 mile an hour. My truck was governed at 59 mile an hour. I've been across this country at 55, 59 mile an hour, and I've been up hills at 5 and 10 mile an hour.
Right. Yeah. When you're doing 55, governed at 55, and you've got a heavy load, you're climbing the mountains at 10, 15 miles an hour. Yeah. Maybe 20. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it was
back in the day, it felt like it took you an hour to get up that thing.
So here's my issues with it, Jeff. And hopefully guys understand where I'm coming from. I'm not picking on anybody, but so back in the day when we were going 55, when we were governed, times were different. We didn't have as many trucks. And my biggest pet peeve of driving today is the lack of CB use with truck drivers. And I think that's why we have a lot of wrecks now. I think guys aren't, they're not using the basic tools of the trade, because the CB radio has saved my butt many, many times. I say this to say, if we are governed at 68 mile an hour and you're in a line, and I'll just say Ohio, because I remember as a young guy going around a curve, and I remember back along just seeing trucks as far as the eye could see. The difference is everybody used the CB. My concern now is the guy in front of me going to be watching YouTube, and then all of a sudden slam the brakes on? I got to slam my brakes on. But what if the guy in back of me is watching YouTube or not paying attention? And let's just say that the guy in front, back, wherever, or the guy way up front doesn't speak English and can't use the CB and warn somebody of something. I just think it's a recipe for disaster. Look, say what you want, but that CB is important. And I think so think about this, Jeff. Number one, if we're governed, and we were governed back in the day, but we didn't have ELDs. So now we're going to be governed along with ELDs. The ELDs aren't the issue. It's the hours of service that are the issue. So now we're going to be governed, and the hours of service are still an issue. And then we have collision mitigation on the trucks, and those are not 100%. So what's going to happen when everybody's really close together? Is that going to cause, personally, I think we're going to have a lot more wrecks. And by and large, as an industry, we don't really have an issue with road rage. But I do think if this gets passed, the road rage with truck drivers is going to increase, 20,000%. I honestly, I think this is it's just bad, because guys are going to be bored to death.
Well, here's the thing with the, at 55, you're falling asleep, man. It's boring, right?
Yeah.
And if you've got a crash mitigation system on your truck, and the guy up ahead of you is going 54, you got it on cruise, right? You got it on cruise. Now you're doing 52 because it's going to slow you down, right? So then if a car cuts in front of you, It puts on the brakes. You slow down. So if you're doing 55, if let's say they govern you 55, you're going to average 45 miles an hour on your trip. So now you'd be lucky to get in a 500-mile day. Lucky. So what's that going to do? You're going to have to put a whole lot more trucks on the road to cover the freight, because the guy, those 700-mile runs that people did in one day, or even the 600-mile runs, cannot be done in one day.
Nope.
They got to be done in 2 days.
To your income.
Right.
But
then you need another truck.
Well, yeah. So now you're going to have to work instead of, you do your numbers at 20 days. I do the numbers the same way you do. So we do our numbers at 20 days. But how is that going to impact, the average guy? And I get it. There's a lot of company guys. There's a lot of other guys out there already governed. But when everybody's governed and everybody's doing the same speed, it's a totally different ball game. I promise you. It is very different. I've lived it. It's terrible. Oh, man.
Hey, stop that.
Hey, but this one guy, what's his name? Fire something?
Where are we at?
Fire, Fire Mitch. We'll just call him Fire Mitch. I don't know what that. Hey, but he makes a good point.
That's my neighbor across the street.
Okay, but here, listen to this. So, think about this. They want to govern us. And we have states passing laws that trucks can't use the left lane except to pass. But how are we going to pass when I'm governed at 68 and you're governed at 68.1?
And think of this. Going around Atlanta. No trucks in the left 2 lanes.
Oh, my God.
And now you're going to restrict the trucks to the first 2 lanes. And if all the trucks are doing 50, 55 miles an hour, how are those people doing 70, rolling around there faster, trying to get off at the exits? What they got to cut in front of the trucks. Yeah. It's going to be a nightmare.
Well, and guys, listen, I hate to say it, but man, look, there's going to be a lot of guys and gals in trucks, and they're going to be lined up, and they're just going to be irritated.
This is funny.
They're not going to.
Robert Richard says, except for Cadillac. No, Cadillac is to be governed too. Everybody has to be governed.
Well, you know what, Jeff? But I think so. Personally, what I think happened here is because I thought, honestly, I didn't think they would, and we still don't know if they're going to go through with this or not. Look, I don't have any faith in them. I think they're hell bent on doing it. But if they do it, I think somebody's pockets got greased, because I think the cattle haulers of America, I think, look, they're going to be exempt somehow, some way.
Yeah, somehow they're going to get an exemption, because they're going to say that if they go at that speed, then the livestock are going to die, and yeah. Same thing with hauling flowers, right? The flower haulers will, because you can't let the flowers die. That'd be a shame, right? So you get the agriculture exemption, right? Because you can't let the daisies not get to the Walmart, so the women can go there and get them things and plant them.
Right.
Every year.
Yeah, every year. Yeah.
Every year. We just waste the money. I mean, well, Anyway. Yeah, that's what they want, 40 mile an hour, Robert. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Well, I could see the dean going out there and buying a long nose Pete and cranking it up to 45 miles an hour, just kicking back, drinking his Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, he'd have all kinds of time. I mean, you could drink that. You could probably even make breakfast in the back while you're waiting to get somewhere.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I'm telling you, here, Jeff, you bring up this is a sore subject for me. I'll bring it up. But listen, the modern era trucks that are automated, I know they're not automatic, but automated. If we govern these guys, are we going to have guys falling asleep at the wheel? Because there's nothing to keep them awake.
Of course you are.
55. Man, I was brand new going 55, and I mean, listen, at that time that was probably an adequate speed, but for me, but man, look, no, I just no.
No, because when you went downhill, let's say you went over the Three Sisters, right? And when you're going downhill, I mean, you put it in Georgia overdrive, right? And you hit 75, 80, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And that'd be nice to be able to travel that speed on a flat, because you couldn't do it.
Couldn't.
Trucks were governed.
And I did stupid stuff like that. The guys that have ever talked to me on the phone know, like I've said it many times, even on your channel, like the Three Sisters. I remember as a young guy, man, I went over that governor. There's no doubt about it.
But here's the problem. Back in those days, you had 3 or 4 logbooks, right?
Yeah.
You just didn't know which one you're going to run that day or how many,
Right.
because you're only going 55 and you're averaging 40 across the country. You can't do that with electronic logs. So what are they going to do now?
Okay, so let's look at this aspect. So let's say the guys don't want to get their trucks. Let's say they come out and say you got to be at 65, whatever the number is. Doesn't make a difference. But listen, remember back in the day, Jeff, where they came out with a loose leaf log, but what was the DOT's go-to? Well, how did you get from there to here if you were going the speed limit? But now with ELDs, I promise you, if you don't go get your truck governed at what they say, I promise you that's going to be their go-to. You can't do that many miles in this amount of time at 65 mile an hour. And look, you're setting yourself up for a hell of a lawsuit. I wouldn't do it, but that's just me.
Well, you think of this too. Reefer drivers are going to have a bad day, because if you get held up too long at the truck wash, there's no way you're getting there.
Nope.
No,
all of us are. Right?
We're all going to have it.
Yeah, you can use the same scenario, and this is what's going to happen. Whether you're on the West Coast or East Coast, I think it's going to be more egregious on the East Coast because a lot more trucks.
Trucks.
Yep, too many trucks. And I think, okay, I got 80 miles. I can get there, but what if there's, you know what I mean? So are you going to your day? I mean, to me, it's just opening up DOT to give a lot of people a lot of tickets. I think it's grossly unfair for the carrier, the driver. I think it's terrible.
Well, now you also got to think of parking, right? You got to think of parking because you're going to have more trucks on the road to do the job. So you need more parking.
Yeah.
And then not only that, like I said, if you get held up, let's say you have a 500-mile run, and if you're governed at 55, you might not make it.
Oh,
right?
You won't.
You might not. You probably won't. But then if you run into any traffic, you go around Atlanta, you're definitely not going to make it.
Right.
So therefore, what should have been picked up and delivered the same day, have to be delivered the next day, which should stop that guy from picking up another load, and rolling out the next day. So there's going to be a lot more trucks have to hit the road, and they don't even have the drivers because you can't get the young people out there that want to drive a truck. They're not interested in this stuff.
Right. Hey, Jeff, I'm going to answer this because he's put it. Sorry. Hey, Nomadic. So the truck's been really good. Of course, you guys know I'm not a fan of it, but I'll be honest with you. So it's been a lot better truck than the W9. I'm just keeping it real, being honest with you guys. My fuel mileage, for those that know, I'm pretty OCD about my numbers. But my fuel mileage, so I just did my IFTA a couple weeks ago for the fourth quarter. It was 6.76. But when I take year over year, I was 6.9. And that's not my numbers. That's going to back office in Samsara. So we'll just call it 7, right? Miles per gallon. To give you some context, my W9 using the same ELD and IFTA numbers was 5.9. So yeah, I mean, look, from that standpoint, it's been good. And I don't want to jinx myself here, but it's been a decent truck. I can't complain. I've had a few issues here and there. I've had the plastic fairings. I've had them fly off going down the road. That's been annoying. I just had this. If you guys see the new next gen T680s, and they got that, I don't know, that wing, I guess suicide wing on the windshield. I guess you're supposed to hang from there and I don't know, commit suicide, Jeff. But I had that sucker fall off. But that's like under recall or something. But anyway, so yeah, but it's been a decent truck, no doubt. I can't complain from that standpoint, Nomadic. There you go, man. I just gave him a free commercial, Jeff.
You did. I'm gonna give old Fire Dog Mitch the old blue label.
Yeah, no
Give 'em a
matter
wrench. You're gonna wrench them
5.9.
up.
5.9 was my fuel mileage with the W9. So 5.9 to 7, call it a mile a gallon. You know, it's definitely some dollars. But I know y'all think I'm nuts, and I probably am. But I got to get a hood. I can't do this.
LBC says the trucking thing sounds difficult. Well, no, you're up in California. Nothing's difficult out there. You know, you got In-N-Out Burger. You know,
Yeah. Hey, man, In-N-Out Burger is pretty decent, man.
it is good. In-N-Out Burger is good. I mean, I'm still waiting for a new T-shirt.
Hey, let me tell you something. Mexican food in California is by far the best, man. If you eat Mexican food in California, you can't eat Mexican food anywhere else. That's
right. It by far is the best.
Yeah.
What is this mayhem? I don't know, Snorlord. Join the panel, and we'll create a lot of mayhem. But Snorlord's in here, so let's give him a tribute. Here we go. We'll give him a tribute. All right.
Too many robberies. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
They closed the In-N-Out in Oakland. You know, that's the thing, right? You got all these. I was watching Hannity just a little bit ago.
Yeah, me too.
And did you see that where, was it New York or somewhere where they're going in and they're beating up the police because they're not allowed to carry, not allowed to carry nightsticks or nothing?
Yeah.
Now,
they got
they still had guns, right? They still had guns, right?
Right.
So here's my question. And I don't care how many people don't agree with this or not, but you know what? If 5 or 6 or 8 people go up and they start hitting a police officer and he goes down to the ground and they start going over and kicking him, that police officer should be able to pull that gun out and shoot every single one of them.
That's right.
He should. He should be able to do that. And you know, if he'd done that, then none of this garbage would be happening.
And how come no one else is coming to help?
Right.
I don't understand it.
So you got another cop comes there and you just seen that to try to help.
Yeah.
And they should be able to use deadly force because their life is in danger.
They didn't really do anything, though. I mean, I saw that, man. I'm like, you know what? You're going to get strong and crazy on the same day. That's all. I mean, because seriously, you can't just sit there and get beat up.
Well, no. They should be able to unleash that weapon and take care of business.
That's right. Because the thing, but they're kicking him in the head everywhere else. That could kill you.
Right.
That's dead.
Exactly.
And then they let these guys out, no bail.
Right.
Bail.
Right. They should be dealt with harshly. And if they happen to end up, getting themselves killed or whatever, that's on them. They're the idiots that went up there and committed the crime. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, Nomadic. I've heard that there's issues with the 680. I heard there's transmission issues. Knock on wood, I haven't had that, but
And that's the same thing with all this mob, right? The mob store robberies, right? Where they all run in and that's just disgusting.
Ransack it and leave.
It should be dealt with swiftly, right?
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have this garbage. But anyway, we'll just keep letting the people up in there do their thing and basically ruining the United States of America is what they're doing. But anyway.
Well, and all these stores that are closing affects us down the line, right?
Right. Yes, exactly. And it affects you for the prices too.
Yeah. Yeah, we get affected, on both sides of the coin, right? Because we can't make money. Loads are going to be less. And
look at these other countries. Do you think? Let's say over in Saudi Arabia. Do you think that 5 or 6 or 8 guys can run into a store and start smashing stuff and take stuff out? What do you think is going to happen to those folks?
Get your hand cut off
and your legs.
Yep.
Right there in the middle of the town, so everybody can see. So does that happen over there? Yeah. It doesn't happen.
No. Yeah, you steal, you're getting your hand cut off.
Yeah. They don't call it chop chop square for nothing.
All right.
What else we got?
You do that once or twice here, Jeff. Stop a lot of problems, guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Well, they just got to be able to enforce, the laws and stop the stupidity.
Yeah.
Just like the riots and stuff. Why let that go on? Roll in there with the National Guard and take care of business.
Right. And you can use rubber bullets. It'll have the same effect. I guarantee you get hit by one of those, you're going down.
Back in 5, getting some food before this truck stop closes for the night. Oh, nomadic Brit, you should have nice food in your truck. Cook it up. Don't be going in that truck stop. Don't be doing a Dean. Don't be going in there and ordering a steak, steak, potato, a salad, and then have a apple pie or strawberry shortcake or something afterwards. Now, come on.
That's what I do, man.
That's what I do.
But I won't eat at 9 o'clock. My dinner time, I don't care if I'm on the road. I don't care if I'm at home. I got to eat by 6 o'clock. I can't eat after that. My
brother knocked out a shoplifter at Home Depot walking out with power tools. Worker couldn't touch him. Good. Yeah, I don't understand that either.
Good for him.
Yeah, good deal right there.
I just saw a video on YouTube either the other day or over the weekend, but the mob went in there and started stealing stuff. And this big guy, just a regular civilian, and he started grabbing people. He started grabbing the stuff out of their hand. And yeah, man, he got a lot of props on the comments. And that's what we got to do. We got to start helping these businesses out. I'm not saying go risk your life, but geez, oh Pete's, you can't just let the stuff happen.
Right. Because then you're promoting that.
Yeah, I mean, look, maybe we all need to start carrying 9-irons with us, or Louisville's something, right?
They were peaceful protests. That's Trucker T-Bo.
Yeah.
yeah, peaceful protests. So yeah, these new regulations they're trying to push on the trucking industry, it'll cripple the industry. I mean, it'll do way more harm than good.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see the EVs are being pushed to the back burner, which they're going to have to come out and they're going to have to change the rules, especially in California, because they're not going to sell that many cars.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've already got thousands of cars sitting in all these dealerships. They can't sell them. They can't sell them.
Did you hear on, I was watching Laura earlier, or was it Jesse? Anyway, but one of those programs tonight. So Denver and a lot of these Philly, all these electric buses, they got rid of them. They scrapped them all and went back to diesel or natural gas, whatever, right? Yeah. Interesting.
Right. And then the government, all these green thumbs, and all, everybody's like, they won't come out and say they were wrong. They won't come out and say that they're scrapped. And they're still saying, oh, these are the best things, like the vice president with her dumb speech.
They're still giving these states millions of dollars to keep buying them.
Right.
Huh?
Because, but you can get on the bus. It's electric and you can plug your phone in. Isn't that great? You could charge your phone on the way home from work.
No, he's right about that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that guy that took out the statue, the Satan statue, and they charged him with a crime?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was on. I think that was Laura, or maybe it was Jesse, but I don't remember. But yeah, just he took off the head of Satan, but they charged him with a hate crime. But what about all these other people taking down all of our history in the country?
Right,
and they're charged with nothing.
None of that history should have ever been allowed to be taken down. Period. None of it. Dean, So if they're taking them off the road, can they be retrofitted into be a diesel?
Oh, I have no. That's above my pay grade, man. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what's going to happen to Tesla.
Shit. Yeah.
Might be time to short that baby.
Right.
Right? Not sure. How are the 2020 plus model Volvo is doing with the reliability of the emissions? I'm still in 2012, wondering. Well, they figured it out. I mean, I've had 2015, had no problem with it. Had a 2018 Volvo, had no problem with it. Volvo's had the emissions figured out for quite a while compared to other brands.
Yeah, I would agree.
And that's because, you know, they make their own motors and they make their own transmissions. But they've had it figured out for quite a while. They just have some other problems. Just like any other manufacturer, everybody has something wrong with their trucks. Whether it's electrical problems or emission problems, too much plastic problems.
Man.
How's your plastic truck holding up? You lose any more parts, that Dean?
No, I haven't had, knock on wood, I haven't had any more fairings fall off, but
Elon's running the biggest Ponzi scheme.
yeah.
Well, he's made his billions, so it doesn't matter now. Yeah, so what else is happening, Dean?
Oh, nothing, man. I had some trailer issues last week. Got that fixed.
What, did you have ABS garbage?
ABS.
You know, that's another thing.
That's
ABS.
That light does nothing.
Get rid of that stuff.
That's dumb.
I mean, we never had to have ABS, you know, back in the 70s and 80s.
No. How do we drive all those miles without ABS?
Yeah, I mean,
makes no darn sense.
Well, I you know, you can't even lock the tires up like you could back then.
Right.
You know?
Well, and we used to, because, you know, if you had a trailer dog tracking to the right, one of the things is just set the brake, just bounce it, right? Get it to go back in. That's what we used to do.
What's up, driving on the wrong side of the road, Britt?
Yeah. Hey, Jeff. Hey, Dean. Couple of questions, right? Now, how long have you been running like your company now, Jeff? If you don't mind me asking.
As owner operator, or as
like company? Trucking, it's like about 10 years, isn't it? Or is it about 10 years? Maybe I'm
7.
right. Maybe I'm 7. Now,
but I've been out here 32 years or so. Yeah.
Now, if I asked you today, like, what is your assumption on the economy now and how trucking is going as opposed to when you started, what would you tell me? Like where do you think 2024 is going to go for trucking?
2024?
Mm-hmm.
I believe, well, personally, I think 2024 is going to be slightly better than last year. But it could have some pitfalls.
Right.
It could have higher fuel, but probably not, because the sitting president is going to want to try to drive down interest rates. He's going to want to try to drive down the fuel to try to get reelected, because they know if the interest rates climb and the fuel goes way up, there's no way possible they're holding that office. So, right, but when you're looking at all the layoffs coming up with all these companies, the freight, I think the industry is going to be okay because of everybody that's been washed out of the system already. Because if you look at the truck prices, the used truck prices, I mean, you can go get a nice used truck now for $30,000, $40,000. You couldn't do that 2 years ago. That same truck would be $100,000. And now you're getting all these trailers back. So I think we're going to have a slight uptick. We're not going to see nothing really great, but it's going to be an economy that you could make it.
See, the biggest problem that I'm having with it at the moment is that, like, you know, in the 9 years that I've been with Schneider as a contractor, we've always been rock steady on bulk. I can't speak for van or any other stuff because I'm not on that side. I'm on bulk. Now, talking from bulk, because we are an essential product, we've always been busy through everything, through the vid, through the whole 9 yards. I've never seen a tick down on what we do. But the last few months now, like for chemical, and when I talked and I had another conversation with another food grade tanker guy today, we're seeing our rates go down. We're seeing our loads getting pushed out, if not cancelled. And that to me, I've not seen that before. That tells me there's a big problem gonna come out somewhere along the line. Because if you're talking about sort of essential products slowing down, even things like food, which blows my mind, food. I'm just wondering that, like you've obviously got contractors on your company that are van drivers and stuff like that. Van drivers are not essential all the time. No disrespects to van drivers. I'm just saying that sometimes you're moving stuff that is non-essential, and it's just I just feel that something is bigger. Praise to you, Jeff, that you're saying that things are going to get better, or you feel that they're going to get better. I'm not holding you to anything, but I don't think so. I think this economy is getting weird.
So nomadic.
And shame on politicians anyway.
Well,
That politicians would use and abuse a basic thing like transport and stuff like that. Stuff the politicians here. I'm just saying. So
yeah. So nomadic. To piggyback off what Jeff said. Look, I think, and I think Jeff will concur. But look, when we started I started in the '90s. Look, and I think trucking offered a lot for a lot of people, but I don't think a lot of people were aware of what trucking offered back then. I think the internet has changed things, but so this is really a two-part answer here. But I would say the state of trucking. I don't think the state of trucking's in a good state, because I think we're going to have a lot of turmoil over the next 5 years, and the reason is I think guys my age and older are either just going to retire because they're tired of the nonsense. I think the more regulations that come out, the more frustrated guys are going to get. But I also think, to Jeff's point, look, I don't think there's not enough young people that want to come into business. As far as short term, I don't see any uptick either, to be honest with you, nomadic. And the reason is, one, it's an election year. A lot of people, even when I was in the insurance business, a lot of people don't do anything during election years. But I think this is even more concerning because we got inflation, we got interest rates that are unpredictable, and look, really, we don't have anybody that knows what the heck they're doing. So,
right.
And I also don't think that I don't believe the trucking industry knows what they're doing either. I think we have a lot of people that are in the wrong places, in the wrong roles, and I mean, look, I just heard something the other day that said, so warehousing is starting to become an issue. So we may become just-in-time freight again, but that goes against everything that's been happening the last 18 months. But I don't know. I think people are scared, to be honest with you.
Well, we're not going to get a huge
warehousing.
uptick.
Now, can I just say, but with regard to warehousing, that was something that, like say, on bulk, we don't get involved with warehousing because we're liquids. So, but that was something that my contact at Schneider, that boss, whatever, like the guy that was dealing with bulk at the time when he was there before he moved on, I would talk to him an awful lot, through phone calls. We'd have good chats and stuff. He was a good guy, and stuff. It wasn't because it was Schneider, but we had good calls and stuff like that. And sometimes we'd meet up, get lunch and stuff like that. There was no untoward stuff, with regard to business. I'm a contractor and he worked for Schneider. I contracted Schneider. But that was one thing that he kept saying, that Schneider always said that the future will be warehousing. That's why Schneider was adapting with different things.
That's why they bought a bunch of warehouses.
Right, but like Dean just said, he just brought it up again, warehousing. Like I say, and a lot of the time, a lot of that stuff doesn't mean anything to me closely because, like I said, I don't deal with that stuff. that's why I listen to you, Jeff, because you bring stuff to my table because I'm curious as to know what's going on around me. Not because I'm a bulk driver, I still want to know what's going on in this transport industry. I want to know what's going on with van
Well,
drivers,
see,
flatbedders, and
van.
stuff like that.
See, a lot of people talk about van drivers, right? They say, "Oh, I wouldn't do a van because I make more money over here at reefer. I make more money over here at flatbed." Well, the van driver, the vans are the hub of America. And the
Right,
reason why I say that is because almost all products are hauled in a van. Food products, clothing products, building products. You have more products to haul in a van. You can't haul in a flatbed, and a lot of stuff can't be hauled in a reefer.
right.
So the van, if you see what the van market's doing, that's going to tell you what the country's doing. Of course, you can look at the building part of the country and see what the flatbeds are doing. If the flatbeds start to increase, then you know that the manufacturing's increasing because
Right.
that's what the flatbed's hauling.
But
Tankers,
that's why I'm
yeah, you're
asking
hauling
you.
the food stuff, you're hauling the liquids and things like that. But when it comes down to it, the van moves most of the product.
But also,
Right,
I
and
mean, if he's
but that's why I asked Jeff, because like tanker is a niche market, and the other sort of different divisions of driving it is a niche market. But we all know that van is the bulk of the transport industry, because you move so much you move hazardous stuff. I've seen on the sides of dry vans, like with all this stuff. So you move like I totally agree with you. You move a majority, but it was just curious as to me that it's starting to have niche markets because what's his name? Sage.
See,
Sage he was on earlier on another live saying that, and we all know what Sage's what he gets involved with, but he was saying that his customers are they're slower paying now. It's now down to like 5 months, 6 months. It's getting a bit silly. And that's why I'm just always, like I say, I'm listening to what's going on in the industry, not just bulk. Even though I'm in bulk, I just want to know
right,
what's going on around me.
right, because we're the first ones to find out ahead of, let's say a recession or an
Yep,
uptick, right, a
absolutely.
boom. We're the ones to know because we start seeing it before they even start announcing stuff to the public.
That's what I tell
And then,
people, because like in England, if you want to know what's going on in England, you talk to a taxi driver. But anybody here, I say, if you want to know what's going on in this country, talk to a truck driver, because we see it in so many different ways.
right,
well,
and then we know when they're lying on the media because they're
Hmm.
saying all this great stuff, and we're like, well, how's that
Absolutely.
so when
Yes.
when the trucking industry is starving?
Right.
but I wonder too, though, Nomadic, if uh, maybe you're slowing down. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here, but because your products are probably the base products that make the products that we haul at some point. But I don't know. Is there a lot of layoffs on your end, or guys not wanting to work? See, I think that's part of our. I think part of our problem in the next 5 years is going to be the warehouses and truck drivers. And I
Right.
think that because look, you just don't have a lot of young people that want to come do this
Uh-huh.
occupation for many reasons, like Jeff said. And I also think the warehousing. Let's face it. I mean, um, they don't have a tough job either. And look, is it hard to load a truck? No, but they're probably not getting paid very much to do it. It's probably a
Right.
thankless job. So how
Hmm.
motivated are those guys and gals that are doing that job too? So I think you bring up a very valid point, because your products are the products that I haul, and we all haul at some point, right?
Right.
It's the
Right.
end product. So, and that's concerning for me. If your loads are slacking,
Hmm.
that's kind of scary.
Yeah, because I spoke to another, like you probably speak to various van drivers and stuff in different companies. Now I'm with Schneider, and I have certain people that have passed through Schneider and they work for other. Schneider would see them as competition. I don't see that. There's enough business out there because it makes the world go round. Now, and like I said, and I get those other individuals that that I have a relationship with, like a good relationship, talking about stuff, and I've helped them in the past because that's what I'm about. I like to help people because we can all just do our best, you know. If we're here, just pass on good karma. But this gentleman who rang me today, he was just saying that his loads, the company he's with, which is another huge tanker company here, that his loads were, he's been sat for 2 days in certain places, and we don't sit. Tanker drivers don't sit. I mean, I'm good with what I do. I don't sit. When I come out here, I run every day. I recap. I don't stop because I'm not out here to sit at truck stops and all that sort of silly stuff. And I will go out sometimes for 2 months and stuff out because I'm a single guy. I don't have to answer to anybody, you know, unfortunately, and whatever. But I can run and run and run. But things are starting to get harder even for me now. Like I said, I have no overhead. My truck is bought and paid for. Yes, last year the engine went up, but I put a brand new crate motor in it because I don't want another truck because I've got about 4 years left in this industry. Then I'm out of it. Because I'm done with it. 1.3 million miles on this truck has taken its toll on my body, you know, and I just don't want to keep doing this. But it's just
Is that all you
like
got?
yeah, but I've only been here for 9 years.
That's all you got is 1.3? Come on,
On
you can
this
go another
truck,
2 million. You can get up to 3. You got
she's
it in
gonna
you.
she'll hit about 2 million by the time I get out of this thing, and then she'll probably get buried with me. So I ain't gonna do it. Like I said, I'm not gonna, you know, this works for me. Being over here doing what I do and stuff like that, it's worked for me. Um, when I'm trying to teach people about what I do, and to me, it seemed this is so very simple. The thing is, with like trucking, like what Dean was like going down that avenue, like earlier on, is that you know we're not dumb, but you don't have to be a highly educated guy, stuff out to come out here driving a truck, but you can earn absolutely bloody good money in this lifestyle. But the newer people coming up don't want to get involved with that lifestyle because it just doesn't work for them. Even though you can make bloody good money out here, and I absolutely do with this company, there's like Dean was saying, there's going to be this big problem coming up that a lot of people don't want to get involved with this. Now, from what I understand and from what I've read, there's like about 2 million, you know, if I'm wrong, I stand corrected. There's about 2 million truck drivers in this country. But that's going to go down and down and down. And you know, and yeah, they're trying to bring in automation to go after like they're always aiming at the van drivers. That's because, you know, the van drivers is the biggest bulk. Like Jeff was saying, this is the biggest bulk of this industry. I don't see electric coming in my time, certainly not in this line, because we can't have electric around us, not around chemicals or whatever, because you go boom, stuff like that. But there's some big issues like coming along, and like I said, none of it phases me because I don't think I'm going to see it in my working lifetime here. I don't know. I think I've said enough. You two can say something now.
No, man, I agree 100%. And it's been written about in I believe it was Landline Magazine or Overdrive. I think it was 21 or 22. Excuse me, but you know, they were talking about the real pandemic is going to happen in the next few years. So when the rates, they were talking in 21 or 22, I believe it was 21. When the rates drop, that's when this country is going to have a real issue, because a lot of these guys that are Jeff's age, my age, more Jeff, right? Because he's a whole lot older than me. But
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. You know, you and Britt can go have some. You know what?
I was going to say I'm older than you two. I'm like 57. So,
but
you guys still have that good British dessert, that spotted. You know what?
But in all
Yeah.
seriousness, I think we're going to see it. But also to Jeff's point, and I think to your point too, Nomadic. Look, the rates are good. Can you still make good money now? Yes. Do you have to be careful? Of course. But the issue that I see is we can't have the rates go. You know, they can't go up too soon, because I think that'll defeat the purpose. And and then we'll still have a capacity issue. Look, I don't want to see guys go out of business. I don't, but unfortunately, that's just kind of the way this thing works. But
That's the way evolution works, though.
yeah.
To be
So
fair.
yeah, I mean, look, it's sad, but yeah. So I think we have to be careful. But honestly, I do think we're gonna, in 2 years from now, I think the trucking industry is going to look very different. The other thing that I read about the warehousing is a lot of these warehouses are being put up near residential areas, and now you're starting to have city councils really start raising Cain about it, right?
Because they don't want the trucks there.
Right. They don't want the trucks, and there's too much traffic. Is you got kids running around and everything else. Look, I don't blame them. But the other part of that is, where the heck are we going to put all these trucks? Because if we go back to what we were talking about earlier
With speed limiters?
and the speed limiters, I mean, how is that going to work? I just don't get it.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work because they're going to have double the trucks. Where are they going to get the people to drive?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody said the immigrants. Maybe that's why they're pouring in millions of immigrants in the country.
Well, I do think that.
Hey, chaps, I'm an immigrant, but if you want to come to this country, if you're listening, come here legally.
Well, I'm saying maybe that's why they're letting them all in illegally. Who knows?
Well, and I do agree with that, and I do agree with you, Nomadic. Look, and a lot of people feel the same way Nomadic does. Look, we don't have an issue with it. Just come in the right way, and I agree with that. But
well, even the immigrants that came here the right way, they're mad because they had to jump through all these hoops, do it the right way, and then they're just letting people just come in for.
That bit does tee me off when they start talking about dreamers and stuff like that. No. If you're going to go to a country, if you can't abide by the rules from day one, if you're going to go and jump over a fence and whatever and come here illegally, no, because you're never going to follow a country's rules. Like if you went to England, you would have to follow like the rules and regulations. So I've got a zero tolerance for this bloody Dreamers Act and all that junk, because no, I went through it. If America didn't want me here, they would say no, bugger off back home. So I'm just saying, that's my take on it. I'm sorry, but if you're going to go to a country, go there properly.
Well, and Jeff, look, if we go back in the 90s, I remember when the old timers were getting out of trucking, but I can remember as the sky is blue, they all used to say, look, they told me two things. When people find out there's money in trucking, the game's over. The other thing they told me is, at some point, they want to make this an 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever the case is. And if they put speed limiters on us, that's what it'll essentially do.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be. I'm not saying it's going to be impossible, but it's going to be different. And I understand you don't like to sit Nomadic, but that, I'll be honest with you, that is going to. I remember when the speed limit went from 55 to 65 or 55 to 60, it changed our life overnight. And this will have the opposite effect, right?
Right. Trucker with T-Bone's messing with you, Britt.
He's what?
He's messing with you. He says, oh, good. The guy with the weird Canadian accent is on the panel.
That's awesome. That's because I took the piss out of. Sorry, that's because I took the mick out of one of his videos earlier on. He was talking about fog and like what you should do to avoid it, and I said, "Yeah, stay at home."
Yeah, stay at home. That's a good.
I was just pulling your leg, T-Bone, mate. I was just pulling your leg.
Music City Transport. What's going on?
What's up, man? What's up there, Marine?
Yeah, I don't know what's
exactly.
But so in hindsight, so this like Dean, sorry, actually, you're that T680. Did I hear you say that? No, you want to get another long nose?
Yes, he does. Right? Yeah, you heard him. Wow, get him.
I will get another long head. I will get one.
Look, his boss is telling him, why haven't you got the long head already?
She has, actually.
Yeah, so it's just a matter of time now. He got the approval. He got the stamp. So now what's holding him back is he's looking at
Reality.
that sticker price.
Reality. That's what's
Reality.
holding back.
He
Reality.
looks at that sticker price and he goes, "Well, you know, I'm paying this now,
Yeah.
and I'm getting this fuel. Do
all
I
these
really
new
want
trucks,
that
though,
painted frame that much?"
Man.
all I'm thinking about, like, if you look at it, like, you know, like people like Schneider, and I'm assuming people like Prime and stuff like that. Now, like, every time I go into an OC at the moment at Schneider, it's absolutely chocker full of trucks. The trucks that they're trying to sell, plus the trucks that have come back because contractors. You go to Charlotte, you can't even park anywhere because an awful lot of van drivers, even after 3 weeks, and the first 2 weeks is free money. Well, no, let me correct that. There's no such thing as a free meal. They say that you don't pay that money on that truck for like the first 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah, it's on the other end of it anyway. But if you go there, that place is like chocker with trucks. Let alone the stuff that they're like going to drop onto the, onto the market to sell, and people like Prime and everybody else that's out there, whether JB Hunt, I'm sure they all do the same thing. So there's a big flood of trucks coming on from the megas. Let alone if you go past any of these flipping auction sites, Ritchie Brothers,
Yeah.
my God, it's absolutely jam packed. And then you go past dealerships, and those trucks are jam packed with nice glitzy trucks and stuff like that. That to me tells, I mean, there's going to be a big drop. An even bigger drop. I know truck prices are coming down now, but they've got to come down an awful lot further because
They do.
factories, from what I understand, are still pumping out trucks. There's no downturn. Like if you go through North Carolina and you see Volvo and stuff out, they got trucks like as far as the eye can bloody see. I've never through Virginia, you'll see like Volvo trucks like everywhere, every color, everything. Every type of day cab, OTR, whatever. And it's just this volume of vehicles piling into the market now, and people are still getting out of this market. And that's why, like I said, I'm not like a negative person. I see the way it really is. And like I said to you earlier on, that if you want to know what's going on in the world, in this country, talk to a truck driver.
Yep.
Now I'm seeing like, there's certain places, unfortunately, that we go to, and you see like massive homelessness. Way more, and I'm going past places I've never even seen it before. Now people are in tents in the bushes and stuff like that. It's weird. This is not good. What's going on here? Like I say, I'm not being Mr. Negativity. I'm just telling you what I see that I've never seen before in certain
Well,
areas.
I agree. I agree, Nomadic. I think, and I often wonder, like, what is this going to come to? Because I hear the same thing you're hearing. I see drivers going to the truck stops, and I hear them talking. I haven't got a load, or been here for 2 days, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but it's concerning. I think there's just a lot of stuff that's concerning. I mean, I think our biggest hurdle right now, as an industry, are these speed limiters. I just don't think guys understand the implications that will have on our industry. And
what's going on with that then? Because that's new to me again. What's going on with that?
It just came out Monday, so they're going to rule on it in May.
In May.
Yeah, and my thoughts are this: if they weren't going to do anything, why not just come out and say so, right? But my thoughts are they will do something because it'll be warmer temperatures. The states can put up the new speed limit signs. From a logistical standpoint, it makes sense to do it in May if that's your intention, right? I don't know. I'm speculating. I don't know. But listen, I don't have any faith in it, right?
What's the reasoning and benefits of putting limiters on these trucks?
Control.
And then it's going to be, if they do slow it down that much, then how safe are the roads going to be when you go into a 75-mile-an-hour state and the trucks are doing 15 mile an hour slower than the cars, and they're on their phones at Facebook, and then by the time they look up, they're right in the back of the truck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's half the problem. The car drivers, that's a massive issue out there. And suddenly we're going to become sitting ducks. That's weird. That's just weird. I don't know why it's, you know, like I say, I don't know what's going on in England because I've been here for 10 years almost. So I can't say that England's an awful lot better place. But being here over the last 10 years, seeing the way that the government gets involved in stuff that they really don't need to get involved with because they're trying to break things that don't need to be broken. It's a simple science, you know, science. Getting involved in stuff like that. If the trucking industry, which is what 75% of movements in this country, and they feel that they can do a better job. I mean, God, you got some idiots running the joint here, and they're trying to tell us how we should do it. It's like, God, those politicians need to spend a couple of months in a truck and work out what's really going on, rather than just thinking that they can look at a book and read this and read that. Oh yeah, the math says we should do this. It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Well, the
Sorry,
speed
but
limiters, they will turn this industry on its head overnight. Overnight.
Eastern Carver says, then they're going to have to give us more time to deliver and pay more or less. they'll probably pay us less.
Well, I do think so. If you look at it, and that's why I say, everybody should look at their own logbooks and look at what you guys know what speed you're doing, and just do the math, right? Take the time and the miles, do your division, and it'll come up, right? But and I encourage you to do it, because if we are governed at 68, and let's say you're getting 3 loads a week now,
right,
I believe you're going to get 2. If you're doing 4, I think you'll get 3. But how are they going to justify that? Because again, no one's going to stay out here if you can't make a living. Number 2, I mean, do we all want to drive 6, 7, 8 hours? And actually what's going to end up happening is we're all going to be driving our 11 hours every day. I mean, to me, that how is that safe? How does that make the road safer? But then everybody's going to be sitting at truck stops all the time. No one's going to want to do that. That's going to run a lot of people out of this business. From a recruiting standpoint, it's going to be a killer. Just like it went from 55 to 65, that's when they were able to start recruiting, because nobody wanted to drive 55 mile an hour.
What is that, Jeff?
Oh, it's the 389. Or is that a W9?
That's Peterbilt. And it's the gray and black.
No. See, I'm looking for a W9 gray that has a maroon thing.
Look, Dean.
Oh man. See, I need that maroon frame. I need a painted frame, not black.
This is a painted frame.
Oh my God.
And it's brand new, and it's only $198,000.
Oh man, that's actually a good deal, because they've
got to buy it.
Man,
you got to buy it.
I'll tell you what, 199. We're getting close. We're getting close.
And they'll give you $250 for yours.
Shit, oh sorry, Jeff. But you know, when I bought the first W9, I was so green. And no, Matt, you get a kick out of this. I said, "Well, hey, are you going to fill the truck up with fuel?" He says, "What do you think this is? A Honda dealer?"
To be fair, like because I put a crate motor and stuff like that in this thing, like this, the next coming years is going to be like, I'm going to still be running the way that I do, so I'm going to be earning an awful lot of money, but nothing to spend it on. That's something I've considered, is buying something like along those, just for the tax write-off. It sounds silly, because it does sound daft, but to me, I always look at figures and stuff. I'm anal like that, you know. And excuse my French, but that's the way I look at it, and
that's real.
That's what I'm doing.
That's real. That's
Dean.
Real. What's up?
Ice blue, baby.
Oh, let me see.
This is the one.
Oh, that's the one?
Yeah.
Oh, we were talking about that like 6 months ago, and I never. I made Jeff buy it. I said, "Jeff, you buy it, then I'll buy it." And I never bought it.
See how you work? See how he does me? See how he does me?
I said, "Jeff, man, I love that color, man. You should get it." You think so? I mean, if you get it,'ll buy it. He bought it. I never bought it.
Thanks a lot.
I know, man. That's what friends are for, brother.
Yeah, something like that. But that's what I've thought about doing, is just buying a truck, even though it would be sat there just as a tax write-off, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I agree with that. I think that's. I don't see anything wrong. Hey, you're talking my language now, Nomadic. That's man. I use every
Well,
advantage.
because there's legal loopholes.
Yeah.
It's like I pay God Almighty. Excuse my French. I pay God Almighty taxes here compared to England. So I'm looking for just the tax write-off, and this year is going to be, amongst other years, this truck has been refurbished from back to front. She's basically a
Right.
new truck, and yet it's a 2016, but she's basically, Jeff, what are
Brand
you
new.
doing? Is
I ain't
Jeff
doing
eating?
nothing. Yeah.
Mm,
What are you doing?
he's eating. Yeah, he's eating. We can hear you. I can hear you here, and I'm in Missouri. I'm near
Hey,
the
listen,
Snorlord.
Jeff. It's 11 o'clock your time. What are you doing eating at this hour? It's swimsuit season somewhere.
Yeah,
Come on, man. You let me
it's 10
down.
o'clock here. I'm in
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock here. Where I'm
the
at.
Ozarks or something. I'm like,
Oh, I'm in
I'm
Missouri
about,
too. Yeah. All right.
I'm like 80 miles from where I've got to be in the morning, which is in Springfield, Missouri, to offload this stuff.
You know what, Nomadic? I'll tell you the one thing I wish I would have done is I wish I would have pulled tanker, and I wish I'd have pulled a bull wagon. Those are two things that I wanted to do.
Yeah,
And
it
Sam,
sounds silly. It sounds silly, but a bull, like taking animals to slaughter. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I know that I'm like, I eat meat and stuff. That's one thing I couldn't do. So, but
Right.
regarding tanker, I wish, and Schneider listens to me and stuff. I wish that I could be on a spot market or do my own thing, because I'm going through a transition with like my accountant and stuff like that, because I don't want to. It's just another disconnection from Schneider. Schneider's been good to
Why
me,
don't you
and
come over and work? Why don't you come over and work over here?
because I want to stick to tanker because that's where the money is, Jeff. And bringing tanker,
Well, bring
I
a
would have to
tanker
get.
over here. We'll figure it out.
I'd have to bring a tank, yeah, and then you've got like colossal insurance and crap. Excuse my French, and stuff like that. Because I did speak to a
and stuff
tanker
like
guy.
that.
I can do the insurance is no problem and stuff like that.
Jeff,
Well,
no.
I'll call up the insurance company and we'll make it happen, and you'll like it and stuff like that because that's what we'll do.
right, but see, like we Brits, now we're here to show you guys how you should do it. So, see, but
The
see, to
bloody
me,
Brits are
like I
going
say,
to take over.
yeah, we bloody well are, mate. But all I'm saying is that I'm 57 and I want to. Somewhere along the line, I've got to slow down. I don't, and everybody takes the mick out of me here because I run. Well, yeah, I'm out here to make money. I'm not out here to just like do a song and dance. And
And stuff like
like I
that.
said, and Schneider will try to get me to help contractors and stuff. And I've told Schneider like back off, because me and Schneider, we've had a bit of a disagreement over a certain situation which I don't feel comfortable with. So I've told Schneider, no, I'm not doing anything. Leave me alone, because. But I'm still the highest earner here. So I could teach these people, and I feel guilty that I don't. But business is a two-way street. Everybody
Yes.
should always realize that. It's not like, if you're going to go, hypothetically speaking, if I was working for Jeff, I'm not going to say to Jeff, I want this, I want that, and stuff like that. There's a common ground where people should understand that. It's not about take, or give. It's about a middle ground. And I'm all
Yes.
for that, because my business that I had in England, I looked after my staff and they looked after me, because it's a two-way street. And Schneider, yeah, they teed me off, and I'm still dealing with the way they teed me off after all these years,
No, you're right. I agree with all that, Nomadic. I think it is two-way. And unfortunately, it seems like a lot of people don't live by those standards. You know what I mean?
You see that comment
That's
down there, Britt?
no.
Look at the comment.
Young Shannon. Yeah, she's a good young lady. I like Shannon. She's funny. Yeah, and yeah. No, I've met up with Shannon a couple of times, and she's a good girl. Yeah, perhaps Shannon. Perhaps I need to just swallow up like trucking, and I can show you guys how to really do it. You know?
If it wasn't for Americans, Britt would be speaking German. You're welcome.
Oh no, don't even go down that route, mate. Don't even tell a British about a German. Sorry.
LVC saying it.
Yeah, LV, stop, mate.
Do it,
You're
Britt.
playing with
They're all
fire.
telling you to do it. Look, come on over here. It's the big Schneider family. You'll feel right at home.
Yeah, maybe I'll come knocking on your door at some stage, because, like I said, yeah, I'm not going to say too much online. Me and Schneider, yeah, I'm not going to say it. Me and
Well,
Schneider,
me and Schneider too. So I know what you're gonna say. I'll just leave it at that.
I
Yeah.
even get the boss even emails me a certain. There's a don't take, my thing is, like, you don't take the mick out of somebody. You don't, and I don't give second things and stuff like that. And being here for 9 or 10 years nearly is like, yeah.
You're being summoned, Britt. You
What?
must pray.
No, I just the last 12 or 14 months. Now, if Shannon was in here, she would tell you it's been bloody hard. I've had to deal with an awful lot of stuff amongst Schneider, and I'm pretty thick-skinned, and certain things like broke me, So I'm still on the mend at the moment. And young Shannon, to be fair, young Shannon is one person that I always talk to offline. And she's been almost like my voice. And she said a couple of times, like, Brit's doing fine, because it hasn't been fine. It's been hard, It's been hard. Jesus Christ, it's been hard. But the good people in the world, that's why I say I've still got morals, and I still stick with certain things. And I don't know,
Well, we're here for you, Britt. We're here for you.
That's right.
I know. But anybody, it's tough out there. But I just, the last 4 or 5 years, I don't want the hassle anymore. The last 4 or 5 years in trucking, I just want to even after 4 or 5 years, the 4 or 5 years now, Shannon knows what my plan is of what I'm doing over the coming years, because I'm trying to accelerate stuff. But after that, yeah, perhaps I could work, 7 to 10 days a month, sit for the rest, whatever. Because somewhere along the line, I want to smell the roses. And for the last
You
10
can do that
years, I've
here.
not smelled.
You can work one day a month. I don't care.
Yeah, not for the next 4 or 5. The next 4 years, I've got to run. That's what I'm still doing. It blows my mind that I still have to do what I've done for the last 9 years, but I'm okay with it, because I know there's an end game in what I'm doing,
Here's
And
what I
you
got
have
for
to
you,
have.
Britt. Here's what I got for you, Britt.
Oh man, look at that.
We'll
Hey,
even
listen.
throw in a hat. You want a ball cap?
Oh man, wow! Look at that. I said, Jeff, where's my T-shirt at? He says, well, man, you don't get a hoodie.
Throw in this too.
See, Jeff, let me tell you, right now, like, as well as all these load boards. Now, obviously over here we have a load board on bulk. Now, I look to, even though I have no overhead, my overhead on this truck is $122.88 a week. I have no overhead, because she's bought and paid for. Everything I've done to this truck is bought and paid for. But I earn still net after, like, fuels and gobbledygook like that. I look for about 3,500, 4,000 a week. That's what I still do. That's a part of my 4-year plan. So that's where I'm at with tanker driving. Now, I don't know if you know people that you could do that sort of stuff, and what needs to be done, if I need to buy a 407 or a 307, whatever, That's where my game is over the next 4 years. Because after that, like I said, I want to sit down. I want to sit on a sandy beach. I want to think, thank goodness I can stop today. And at the moment, I can't stop because of.
Look, Brett.
Uh-huh.
We have miles of sandy beach here. right?
I
It
know.
doesn't matter if you're on the west side of Michigan, the east side of Michigan, up in the UP in Michigan. We got tons of sandy beach. Now, whether you can get your toes in the water and not freeze them to death, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But we have miles of sandy beach for you, my
It's
friend.
frozen. The frozen tundra up there, man. That's
Well,
where
if you go to the UP, it's kind of like,
they hang meat up.
jumping in the ice water, right?
That's right.
The polar bear plunge.
Shannon knows my ultimate place. In Georgia, there's a place called Jacko Island. I could live on that place. That's where I'm going to be, is Jacko Island. But
Now, you need to go to God's country, the UP of Michigan. There's your island.
I was up. No, I was in Michigan because I got messed about in Monaca in Pennsylvania because there'd been some horrible temperatures, and then we had. I didn't know, but I thought planning messed up with our trailers, but it would appear that the people that clean our trailers, they had 3 fatalities because we have nitrogen and stuff like that in these trailers. Whenever I go to a tank wash, I write down nitrogen. I put big circles around it. I put arrows because that's a killer that you can't see coming. And yet there was 3 fatalities. And so one of the biggest tank washes in this country called Qualiwash shut down to have this huge conference call because obviously there's going to be legal things. There's going to be a whole lot of problems. Then you had this massive ripple effect to all us tanker drivers, not just Schneider, but everybody, Henef, whatever. And there's just this massive ripple effect, But I don't know. That's my 4 years. I need to. It's got weird that I have to have. I do charts and I have everything that it's got really weird for every month I have everything targeted, what I need to do, what I'm gonna do and stuff like I know everything right down to the cent. That's how I work. I'm so mathematically into stuff. It's so weird that I just do it. And
Look, we will send you a free T.E.N Excel spreadsheet.
I have the same issue though, Nomadic. I truly do. But it's really helped me though. Yeah, it's. I mean, honestly, and if you know what you need to do every day, it just reduces the stress. And and I'm like you, Nomadic. Look, I used to run like that. I can't. I don't want to run like that anymore. But I just want to do a couple weeks and then just do my thing. But
my biggest problem, Dean, is that I have no family. I have nobody here. It's just me.
Right.
That's why I will talk to somebody like young Shannon, and I will go through stuff out because I don't have anybody here because I'm here on my own. So I just work out what I'm doing. It's a weird life to me because when these curtains are closed, I'm in an 8-foot square box. It's just me. That's my world. Now call it sad, whatever, but that's how it's got to that point. That you just it just gets really weird. Like I said, now I talk to what's left of my family through Zoom. I will talk to my mum on a 30-minute cycle every day because she wants to know what's going on in my work. My mum's 80 years old, for Pete's sake. I have one brother and I have one cousin. That's all that's left of my family. Then we're all gone. so I don't have an awful lot of contact with people.
Right.
Right.
I'm saying, hey, this one guy, welcome back, Cotter, says, what are those numbers? Hey, listen, I'm gonna give my daughters some love here. So that is damn, how can I do it? Okay. So some of those are mine from some of the cycling events I did, but both of my daughters made it to the Junior Olympics. So my oldest made it 2 years in a row, and my youngest daughter made the Junior Olympics 1 year. So yeah, so some of that's their stuff, some of that's my stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, Dean's famous now. Now, what I heard in all this rhetoric that Dean was talking about how he wants to slow down, how sooner or later he'll just be working here and there. So what that tells me is it's like, you know,
Here
a
we-
revelation, right?
here-
So
here we
so
go.
that means Dean's coming back to like trucking eventually.
I thought it was with you. To be fair, I sorry,
Because
but I
because he's not going to want to pay that monthly cargo and liability,
Yeah, you got a point, Jeff. You
and
got a
so
point.
he'll come here so he can sit and do nothing and
That's
not
right.
to pay nothing.
Man, listen, you already know that's my game plan.
it looks like me and Dean are going to like trucking.
Yeah, and you'll get a hat, Dean, and I'll give you. And I'll tell you what,
I'm looking for a hoodie for like,
I'll give you a hoodie. I'll give you a hoodie.
and he won't give me a hoodie. He won't give me one.
I'll give you one.
I gotta come. He says you have to come back and get a hoodie.
I'll give you a 4X.
A what?
You heard me.
I didn't hear. I didn't hear.
I'll give you a 4X.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Man, come on, man.
That way, when you're cycling in the cold, you can put more layers on. It'll still fit.
God damn.
Man, this is what I go through, nomadic. No, seriously, this is the. Oh Lord.
To be fair to you,
out.
Dean, I've seen like you, Dean, and Sandman. Sandman, I've got a lot of time for him as well. Now I've seen you in Jeff's channel for like a year or so because that's when I came into this thing. And yes, I know. I used to take the Mickey out of you, but that's just me. I'm just that guy. That's how we Brits roll. We just take the Mickey out of people and stuff like that. You know, there was nothing untoward when I would say something. It's just taking the mick. You know,
Right.
but you vets, big respect anyway. You know that, and that's where it stops. You know that you guys you're way above me. You've done your stuff for your country, and I didn't. You know, so big up to you two.
Oh,
Dean has a bike with studded tires, so he can ride on the ice.
no,
Because he was up in the mountains of Utah, and if you ever heard the story, I mean, this is epic. So Dean,
I don't even know what he's talking about.
is riding 25 miles straight uphill on a 75% incline, and he's doing this at 30 miles an hour on his bike because he is a championship bicyclist.
Yeah,
and he gets to the top.
It's not a bicyclist; it's a cyclist.
Yeah, cyclist. Yeah.
King's English. King's English.
He doesn't.
Chaps,
he doesn't want to hear. He doesn't want the BI in front of cyclists. So he gets.
One other thing. I said the other day on a certain live. I said like King's English. Anybody listening? I'm British, obviously. Now, when I say King's English or Queen's English, I'm just having a joke. I'm not taking the mick out of you guys. I'm just being like jovial, you know. But somebody unfortunately took an offence that I said, God save the king. My goodness, why can't we all just chill out?
That's where you're from, so why not say it?
I know, but I'm here as a guest. I'm not here to take the mick out of people. I'm not here to like be disrespectful to people. I'm just saying that I have a joking side.
Are you sure you're British?
Yeah, I bloody am. I'm proud of it, actually. I can
tea?
drive on the proper.
Do you drink tea?
I bloody wish I actually do in my truck. I have. I bought a what do you call it? A King. Yeah, I've got tea in my truck, so I drink tea. I try to drink and eat as much British stuff, and it's very difficult, and it's bloody expensive buying British food here. God dang, it is.
It's just called food.
No, people tell me, "Oh yeah, British food is bland." I like bland food.
It is bland. I mean, your desserts are so dry. They about kill you when you try to eat them.
I know, but you eat things like a flipping chicken with a scone. I learned weird food.
Your chips in Britain. Your chips are no comparison to our chips.
We have the. Oh my God! I can't believe you just said that. We have the best fish and chips in the world.
No, you don't. You're fishing. Look, you better watch some YouTubers from Britain that compared fish and chips, the real fish and chips from the United States compared to Britain, and they say hands down, our fish and chips are way better.
Oh no! Whoever said that is a bloody fibber.
No.
They're The
They
closest
beat
fish.
your little skimpy fish and chips bloody hands down because you guys don't see. Here's the problem
Oh,
with. See, I've been over there, right? I lived over there. So
where did?
here's the
Hold
problem.
on. Where
Here's
did?
the problem
Yeah,
with your fish and
Jeff. Where
chips.
did you
Let,
live?
let me give
Jeff,
you
where
no.
did you
Hold
live?
on. Hey, this is my channel. I'm gonna mute you for a second. Now listen. This was I put him on mute. So here you go, Britt. Here's the thing. Your fish and chips. What you guys don't understand is you didn't flavor the batter. Now I'll let you talk.
Who flavors the batter? That's weird. Why would you do that? God
To
dang.
make them
See,
better.
no, cotton and chips in England. I'm going back to England this year. That'll be the first time I've seen my mum in 9 years in her flesh. And I'm going to think, I'm going to see my mum. I said to her, I want to go to the bloody closest fish and chip shop because I miss a proper fish and chips. And
And
then
you're
I'm
gonna eat
going
that
down the
bland
pub.
fish and chips.
Nope. And then I'm going down the pub. I don't care if they drag me out of the pub. I'm going down the pub after as well because I miss that stuff. You know? But no, fish and chips. I'll tell you what, the closest fish and chips that you will get here in this country is a certain bar in Lawrenceville, Georgia, that I went into a couple of weeks back. Blew my mind. It tasted so bloody great. It was fantastic. I even
Well,
took
come
some
here.
like
We
hub.
have some of the best fish and chips around. I'll take you there.
Is it cod and chips though? Proper cod and chips in
Yes, it
batter.
is. It
And it
is.
hasn't been messed about with. Yeah, but see, you said about like putting the savory stuff, you know. So, but we had like the best cod and chips in the whole wide world. I'm just saying.
You haven't lived yet, Britt.
I bloody have. I lived in
No,
England for
you
like
bloody.
40
You're
odd
you're talking about
blinking
some.
years.
Dean, have you ever been uh, over to Britain area over there and had some fish and chips?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Ding, do yourself a favor, mate. Get on a plane tomorrow, fly to London, go to a typical like chippy, and say, "Oi, I want the like your cod and chips." And you'll say, "Wow, that was worth the money coming over eating this cod and
But
chips because
but
it was
but
the
but
fuck."
no man. Look, I put hot sauce on my eggs. I put hot sauce on my ketchup. I can't eat
Wow.
bland food. Yeah, I can't eat bland food.
God damn. Why does
Yeah.
people class British food as bland? It's fantastic. I
You
don't
just
get it.
said it was.
Right.
No, because that's what they say. But the first time I ever came to this
It
country,
is
I ended up
bland.
in
They don't
Texas.
season nothing.
Hold up, let me just say something, chaps. The first time I came to this country, I went to Texas, and I stopped in this hotel, and they said, oh, you know, they brought out this menu, and I thought it was going to be like the British menu, like volumes and stuff like that. I ordered some chicken wings. Good God, they brought out like this huge plate of like I don't know how many flipping chicken wings and stuff like that was on. I'm thinking, oh my God, it's just me. And I already ordered behind that a burger and chips, or what I thought was a burger and chips, and they come out with like another flipping, like enough for like 6 people. And I'm sat there, there's people around me probably thinking, look at that gutty bugger, you know, he's eating all this food. And I'm thinking, no, I thought this was like British. This is how we order this stuff.
He's
It
killing
was
me, Jeff.
hot. It was bloody hot. It blew my bloody head off, like eating the chicken stuff. And I said to him, God, take that stuff away. I said, I don't want you to serve me up. I don't want that stuff. Take it away. And then they brought out this burger. This burger was as big as like Mike Tyson. My God. It wasn't even a normal burger. And I'm thinking, you
He's
got to be
killing me,
joking
Jeff.
here. And you think I'm gonna eat this bloody thing? God blimey. And it's like no, it's just like it's burger and a half, and God knows how many bloody fries and stuff like that. And I kept saying to like, because I was still burning up from the stuff before, and I'm telling to bring out a glass of water because I said, crikey, this is bloody hot. And I've never seen so much food. After that, I realized, like, God bloody hell, mate, don't watch what you order in this country. And it's like, God damn, it's just like. So, and then the next day, that was the weirdest thing. The next day, I went to get my phone was playing about, and I said to this guy, "Where's the telephone place? I need to get a new a charge of this phone." And I didn't know that supposedly in Texas, nobody walks the streets unless you got a DUI or you're stupid. I didn't know that. In England, it's normal. I'm walking down this thing and I didn't understand your traffic light system. And this guy had to tell me when to run across the road to get across. And these bloody lights. He's like, and I'm sat there looking at him like, and he's saying, right, go. So I'm running across the bloody road to get across the bloody lights. Yeah, welcome to America. Yeah, for a British guy, it was crazy stuff.
Oh,
That's how I roll, you know.
Look, Britt, you come here. I'll take you to some good restaurants,
shit.
and
Yeah,
He's killing me, man. He's
Yeah.
killing
you'll have a good time.
yeah. Just cut down on the food, boys, because you guys.
Well, no, you could have extra to take with you, so that way you can eat for a couple days.
I've got a flipping crock pot in here. That was the weirdest thing. I bought a crock pot in here because I thought I'm gonna start living at large. So I bought a crock pot because, and I'm going to like places like Walmart because like most of the trucking industry, we've upset everybody. So I go to Walmart, I buy some basic stuff, and like you can't bloody hell, mate. You can't even find like a small chicken or a small bunch of this or a small bunch of that. Everything's like living at large. So I've got stuff cooking in this thing. It's like I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, that's gonna last me like about 3 days cooking this stuff. It's bloody hell. It's so half the time I'm throwing out this stuff because it's like I'm buying the smallest stuff I can find, but it's still too much.
You want to save money?
Man, he's killing me, man. My stomach.
So you walk into Walmart or one of these stores, Kroger, or whatever. Go in there and get the rotisserie chicken.
Oh shit!
I try that, but sometimes they're sold out. So
you get the whole chicken for $6 and you save yourself a ton of money.
I know, but I try that sometimes. But sometimes you go in there and everybody's bloody done that thing. They've like, oh yeah, the British guy's coming. Let's like take all the chickens. So I go and buy like a normal fresh chicken. I cook it, and it's like, it's great the idea of having a cooked meal. And once you start eating it, you're thinking, oh, I can't face this bloody thing. Crikey. I end up I've had so many wild animals outside my door hanging around because I throw so much stuff out there. I've had, I don't know, coyotes, bears, whatever. Like, yeah, Mark,
you
throw it
can
out
hunt
here.
those wild animals.
Bring it this way. Yeah, we got it. Dang. So yeah, so I try to just. I'm going back to like basic chips at the moment, like Walker's chips, the bland stuff. I'm trying to like go basic. Dang. You guys eat too much of the wrong stuff. Trust me. And I'll tell you what. But like when you listen to like Shannon's like, you need to eat this, you need to eat this. I'm thinking, cool, blimey. I'm trying to stick to that, but it's bloody difficult. It's absolutely bloody difficult here.
Oh
Damn.
God.
Yeah. You know.
I need to start a YouTube channel of like how to go insane as a British person being in America. It's very simple.
You'd probably make
Become
millions.
a truck driver.
Yeah, you probably make
very
millions.
simply. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Become a truck driver and try to stay on these diets these other truck drivers tell you about.
I know. God dang. It's difficult. It's bloody difficult. I tell you that now. Right now, I tell you that.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah.
Man,
All right.
He kept, man, that was worth the price of admission, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm closing her
Yeah.
down, man. I got work to do. I got to get up early.
Man, that was great.
Anyway,
man.
You truck drivers, stay up all night. You know, obviously, Ritson, he slowed down so much he ain't got nothing to do. So,
Who's
I know
that?
that's dementia. That's dementia setting in. But anyway, big up the British. God save the king. Jeff, you good chap. Big up the Dean.
And get yourself some fish and chips and things like that.
Yes, yeah, and things like that.
I need to because then I can end up with a hairy chest and everything. So that's what I always tell people: eat fish and chips, you end up with a hairy chest.
Hairy chest.
Put some Tabasco on it. Hey, put some Tabasco on it, Nomadic.
No, that's so weird. Who does that, for Pete's sake? Who on earth does that? Do not put.
Nobody but the
Don't.
dean.
Anybody listening to YouTube, do not listen to the chap at the top right. He has got no understanding. You don't put Tabasco on cod and chips. So.
And you got to put. I put Tabasco on eggs, everything.
Do you put malt vinegar on it?
Did I put what?
No, actually, no, yeah, you do put a bit of malt and vinegar on the chips.
See, I knew Britt knew what I was talking about.
Yep, absolutely. Anyway, chaps, I need to go. So it's good talking to you, Jeff. Good talking to you, Dean. Looks like me and Dean are coming back to like trucking in the next coming months, and
so and Britt's coming too. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody
come here, get some real fish and chips. And he's going to turn his tank crank to say, I just want to sit around with a dry van so I can go in the back and I can cook me some food. I got 53 feet of storage back there because I go to the restaurant and they give me so much food. I need somewhere to put it.
Yeah. But we Tanker Life, we keep it real. Over here in England, we keep it real. So but Jeff, I appreciate you letting me on your channel tonight, and good to talk to you as well, young Dean. And if Shannon's in the chat, big up that young lady, and I'll catch everybody another day.
All right, we'll see everybody later.
All right,
and,
have a good night.
We'll give you a tribute on your way out. We'll give you a little bike horn. And here's Britt pulling away right here.
Yeah. That's weird. Stop. That's weird. Stop.
And he's got the fish and chips in his hand.
See you later, Dean.
Hey, you DT'd him right out of there, just so you know.
Oh, you want to be DT'd out of here?
Hey, see you guys. He's gonna DT.
All right, he's gone. That's what happens when you can just hit the. Wait a minute. Now he's back.
Oh, I knew it. What's up? Man, listen, he had me dying, man. My stomach is killing me, man. I thought I was getting ready to bust a gut, man. That guy is funny.
Yeah, he's funny. He's a good guy, man.
Oh,
he's a good dude.
That was good stuff. Hey, listen, vote no for the speed limiters. Give them hell. We don't want speed limiters. What else, Jeff? Oh, and
quit vaping. It's not good for your health.
Go factor. Call Evan. Blow the phone up.
Tell him Thunder Funny. Ask for Evan.
Yep.
Gaspari, and tell him we sent you. Yep. Blow his phone up.
Blow it up.
Come to the best factory company in the business. Get the great fuel card and all the good stuff that they offer, because they actually care about this industry and the folks in it.
If you factor, you'll stay in business. That's the way I look at it.
That's right. You will. Your cash flow will be there. You don't have to worry about asking for lines of credit and asking for more lines of credit and all this other garbage. Just do it. And they could check out any broker way more than any other program would.
Well, and they're in it to win it too.
They're in it to win it. And they're not gonna jeopardize their money. All right, we out of here.
Man, you got to go to bed. It's past your bedtime.